A winding road through the hills connecting Scansano to Magliano in Toscana leads you to Porretta, an ancient fiefdom of the Aldobrandeschi family. We're in the heart of the production area of the Morellino di Scansano, the youngest red DOCG wine in Tuscany. And we're in luck. We're just in time for the grape harvest. We're off to Fattoria Mantellassi to harvest the grapes. The grape harvest is a ritual people have always found very fascinating. In the past, all the family would help out in the fields during the whole month of September. These two brothers, Giuseppe and Arialdo, are passionate and dedicated to their profession, just like their father Ezio, who started 56 years ago. Today's a very important day because it's
harvesting time.
It's harvesting time. We've already got the scissors. Shall we go harvest some grapes?
Okay, let's go. Let's harvest.
My father and my grandfather bought the land and began planting the first vines in 1960. From an initial 4 hectares, in the end we had about 22 hectares. Then, in 1995 to 96, Giuseppe and I took over the business. We now have about 100 hectares of vineyards. The vineyards are the most important thing. We take the vine cuttings and do the grafting ourselves. Before planting the vines, we analyze the ground. Then we select the most suitable clones. We have clones of my father's and grandfather's Morellino vines. We have the nursery for replanting them, so we still have the same old Morellino clone. We employ quite a few people here. 12 people work in the vineyards all year round, and some others work in the winery. So when we're busy, we employ 25 to 30 people. They work the field, they harvest the grapes and the olives. They work with dedication and passion. They work as if it were their own business.
Right, we're just finishing harvesting the last clusters of grapes.
Yeah.
What happens next? Where do you take them next?
We put them in crates, then a tractor loads them onto the trailer.
With the tractor?
Yes, and once loaded, they're taken to the winery where they're immediately crushed.
Okay, let's harvest the last few clusters. Then it's off to check out the winery.
When you plant a grapevine, it only bears fruit after 5 or 6 years, not just a year or two. So you get to see the plant grow, and it really gives you great satisfaction when you serve the wine to your clients.
We're very close to the sea here, so this has a positive influence on how the grapes ripen. Northwesterly winds are typical in this area, and this keeps the grapes cool and removes any damp, and this helps the grapes to ripen much better. When people come to visit our winery, they expect to see a commercial farm. This is a family-run farm, and for us, the family is very important. You start with the land, with something genuine, producing raw materials which are then transformed, bottled and sold. We do everything ourselves here. We harvest the grapes, make the wine, bottle it and sell it. 1 million bottles are drunk all over the world. Anyone on holiday would love to discover everything that goes on here.
Giuseppe, now this next step is the one part I like most. We've harvested the grape, we've learnt about the entire winemaking process, and now we get to taste the wine. This is where that takes place because this is the wine shop, where people can taste the wine and buy it.
That's right. We have a wine shop for customers who are visiting the area, who may see the sign and may want to come in. For our clients, or for the press, we also have a tasting room and a bigger room where we also have groups from abroad. Often clients come from abroad and they bring all their sales representatives with them. We have many clients in America. One of those clients has about 150 outlets. Can you imagine 150 wine shop managers here at a wine tasting event?
So it's possible to taste the wines?
Of course. We'll taste some now. And naturally, when wine tasting, you also need bread, cold cuts and cheese because you're in Maremma. You have to consider that in Maremma, life is simple. People from Maremma enjoy being around other people. They're cheerful, and most of all, a glass of wine always makes you cheerful. I've picked 2. I've picked a Vermentino. That's this one here, the Scalandrino. It's a Vermentino from 2015. It's a selection of our Vermentino grapes fermented in oak barrels. We have about 13 wines, and we also produce grappa and olive oil. We produce various types of products from white wine to Morellino di Scansano, Vermentino, Cabernet Sauvignon. The best of the best is naturally the Morellino di Scansano. We're within the Morellino di Scansano DOCG wine region. I'm also president of the Protection Consortium of Morellino di Scansano. It's the most well-known product in the world from this area. Some of our wines are named after the area. For example, Lucumone, the Etruscan word for king or high priest, pays tribute to the Etruscans who lived here 4,000 years ago. Le Centenelle is the name of our reserve wine, for which we grow the vines right from the beginning specifically for producing that reserve. So, a particular grape is used to produce Le Centenelle Morellino di Scansano Reserve. First, the aromas. The aromas are very important in white wine. The first thing you notice with a white wine is its colour, but when you smell it, you want something with floral scents and very aromatic. The San Giuseppe is a selection of the Morellino di Scansano. The enologist, after the harvest, makes a better wine selection and puts it 6 months in barrels. The reserve, however, is a different story. For the reserve wine, we use the grapes from our best vineyard, the Centenelle, where we already know we'll get a great product because the selection process is very rigorous. There are only very low yields, and the vines are older, etc.
What aromas! They come bursting out, don't they? It's an explosion of aromas.
Exactly. This is a great vintage because 2013 was a very good year.
A great year?
Yes, it was a great year. You only really get to know a wine's value after the harvest, after the vinification, after the malolactic fermentation. Malolactic fermentation is very important because it makes the wine rounder. It changes the wine completely. Bear in mind that in just 2 months, a wine goes through more transformations than a human does in a lifetime. We invite you to visit this beautiful countryside. Maremma is surrounded by a wonderful environment. Compared to other places in Tuscany, I'm proud to say that this is the only place where you can see the sea from the mountains. You'll get to visit the magnificent islands, the coast, and the rolling hills of Maremma. See you here!